Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Merlin. Merlin is a 2 to 4 player game. It's been published by Queen Games, by Stefan Feld. You recognise that name from other titles that I've covered, such as Aquasphere, or ones I haven't covered yet, like Trajan, Castles of Burgundy. They're all Feld titles, and I really like his designs. I think they're really smart, and that they just work. In this game, you are all knights of the Round Table, trying to gain the influence of the king, or of the different provinces, should I say, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game can become the new king, or something to that effect. That doesn't really matter. Now, if you look at the board, it actually looks a little bit more like an older style game than it actually is. So this game actually only came out at the end of last year, 2017. I believe it was an Essen release. It is, in its essence, it's a roll and move game. I know you're thinking, hey Jeff, you hate roll and move. What's going on? Why are you talking about this? You've already said you like it. Why? It's roll and move. I don't understand what's happening. And you know what? I don't either, but I think I've kind of getting my head around it. If you remember playing Talisman from your youth, or if you have a copy of Talisman and you've ever played that, that's a game where you roll and you move your guy either left or right. You have choice. I kind of liked that game for a little while, and then I really got bored with it and found it terribly dull. But the reason I kind of liked it was there was a little bit of choice. Just that one choice, your left or right. This one, you don't have that specific choice all the time, but what you do have is you're rolling 4 dice. From those 4 dice, you're drafting which one you're going to use each turn. You're going to use all 4 of them, but it's up to you with which order you use them in. Now, 3 of them will move your pawn, your coloured piece. The other one is a white one, will move this Merlin marker. Everyone will be moving Merlin once through their turn. Your own coloured pieces have to go clockwise around the board. Merlin can go forward or backwards. And so what it does is it gets you thinking. Firstly, I've got 3 dice that I'm going to move my thing. So from where I am to where I end up is actually going to be identical no matter what order I play these dice in. But the 2 spots that I will stop, so at the end of the first die and second die, will be different depending on what order I play my dice. And so having a look at that and working out what order of the events you need to happen is really important. And that's a good thinky element on this game. Then, looking at Merlin and knowing that everyone is going to have to move Merlin, looking at, okay, so if I've maybe rolled a 3 on the white die, I can move Merlin 3 spots that way or 3 spots that way. What's that going to get me? Is that useful? Do I want that right now? If the answer is no, then leave it. But then you need to be aware of what everyone else's Merlin dice are. And so the person on your left might have a 1 on the Merlin die. And if he moves it that way, that's going to put you in a great position to be able to get this thing. If he moves it 1 this way, you might be able to get this thing over here. And having that little bit of a... You can't plan for it, but you can have a really good guess at when things are going to happen, to hold off on moving Merlin until someone else has moved them. But as soon as they've moved them, you're going to have to jump in and do it before someone else moves him again, and suddenly you're in a totally different spot again. So what it means is every time the turn comes around to you, you're going to be thinking about, oh, has Merlin moved? That changes my options on that one. In order for me to move this one to my guy too, I really need this cube, but I can only get this cube if I get Merlin to there. I can't get him there with the dice I've got, but if that guy does it, he might be able to. So can I do something else that will get me here a little bit later? Those kinds of thoughts are really good, and they make it a much more meaty game than it looks. It's a beautiful game on the table. Circles look really lovely on the table. I don't know why. I haven't worked that out. It's a square board, but it's a circular pattern on the board, and everything kind of comes into this round table idea. On top of that, there's a little map that is a hex map. It's a territory control kind of map. If you have seen kind of old style artwork, it's very similar to the maps you'd find in those old style artworks, the artworks that kind of come along with Lord of the Rings and things like that. They're not exactly the same, but they're really similar kind of ideas. So it gives you that kind of medieval fantasy feel to it through that board. And that's an area control. And what you've got to be careful of is that can make or break the game. That has actually won me the game by a huge amount, playing against someone who was ignoring it. Because what you're doing is you're trying to control a territory. And each territory is going to be a different size depending how many hexes of the same type are adjoining. And so if I'm on a territory that has 5 adjoining hexes, I'm going to get 5 points off that. If there are 2 of us on there, we're going to share those points. If there's 5 markers on there, but 3 of them are mine, I'm going to get the 5 points. Not because there's 5 things on there, but because there's 5 tiles. And so if you've got one player who's really playing heavily on that area, that's called the environs, they're probably going to win because there's a heap of points available every scoring round, and there are 3 scoring rounds in the game. So it's possible for that player to really shoot ahead. So just make sure you watch out for that when you're playing it. So it's a good element. Other really cool elements is there's these mission cards which give you things to work towards. So while you might be just working towards defending yourself against the things that come at you, there's little banners above your castle board that you need to have shields that match with them. That's pretty simple, but instead of just focusing on that, which it would be possible to do, you can focus on getting stuff that's on these cards. And it's kind of like, I've got some little goals, some interim goals. You can only claim 1 of them every turn. A turn is when you play a die. So you've got 4 dice on each round. In theory, you could actually claim 4 of them per round. It's pretty hard to do that. On them is some points. There's also an extra module, which I've put into the videos. I don't usually, but I kind of like the module. I think that you should use it. I mean, if it's a little bit too much and you can sense people just kind of vaguing before you get up to that, maybe just leave it out. But it's, you know, I quite like the module. It gives a little bit more decision, a little bit more of the changeable skills to everything you're doing. You can get points off these cards. You can get bonuses for the rest of the game through this extra module off these cards. On the first time I played this game, we kind of ignored the cards because we didn't really understand what they were doing. And just kind of, if we happen to have the thing on there, of course, it doesn't cost you anything. You've just got to collect the stuff and have the stuff present on your board that's listed on the card to be able to actually get the points or the action of it. So we were kind of ignoring it and just kind of, if it happened to line up with a card, we go, oh, I've got that on the card, I'll take the 2 points. Rather than working directly towards it. I haven't worked out if that's a viable strategy against going for the environs, but that's another thing that's just, it adds more to the game and adds more elements that we can work with. On top of that, there's also flags that are one-time use things, and once you've collected them, you get to use them to manipulate your dice or to jump to the other side of the board or to move your guy the opposite direction, things like that, which are kind of some really cool skills, and they're available to everyone, so no one's kind of overpowered. It just depends on who can get to them. And whenever you go to a province, you've got this choice of, oh, I've got all these 4 options. There's a lot of decision in this game, even though on its essence it looks like a roll and move. There's still a heap of decision. So look, I think that you should give this at least a look. See if you're going to like it. Have a watch of my Gamesplaination and Gamesplay to see if it's a game that you would like. On the instinct, I was like, I don't know if I would like this, but I really enjoy it. So it may be a good one for you as well. And once again, I'd like to thank Advent Games in Australia for lending me this copy of Merlin so I could do my videos. So please have a look at Advent Games. There's a link in the description below, adventgames.com.au, for your gaming needs. I hope this helps you get Merlin to the table. If you have any games that you wish to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to see what games I've been playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.